Hello, everyone. Bill Adams, Realtor, Coldwell Banker Realty. Hey, I'm excited to be here today with Tanya Wilson. Tanya is the owner of Priority Pumping Service. Tanya, welcome.
Nice to meet you. Nice to be here.
All right. Hey, let's start by telling folks about your business.
Sure. So, Priority Pumping is a commercial and residential wastewater company. So, think
Mhm.
about septic systems, grease traps for restaurants, laundromats have lint traps. Every commercial building has a wastewater storage facility that catches all of the solids before it goes into the sewer,
Mhm.
just like a septic system does. It catches the solids before the water goes back out into the ground, into the environment. So, what
Mhm.
my business does is we provide pumping and maintenance service for that, and we also do system design and installation service for replacement septic systems or new construction that requires a septic system.
Okay, fantastic. Being a realtor, I have need for your services for my clients.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So we do provide those ADEQ septic inspections.
Mhm.
So the way that the rule is set up in the state of Arizona is anytime a property exchanges hands,
Mhm.
meaning that the ownership changes, that there is a ADEQ septic inspection done on that property. So that requires a licensed inspector to come out and examine all parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly.
Mhm. All right. Hey, so how did you get into the business?
Interesting story. I actually grew up in Wyoming and I grew up in a very construction oriented family. All of the men did construction there,
Uh-huh.
and I grew up with a bunch of them. So I have always worked in these kinds of industries. When I met my children's dad, this was the trade that he had learned growing up.
Mhm.
And so we jumped in 2009 when everyone thought we were crazy, and we started our first septic company here in the Valley. We ran that for about 5 years. And then after we got divorced, we sold that off, and then I started this business in 2017.
Mhm.
So we've been running here in Gilbert for just a little over 6 years now. And I love this industry so much. As a
Uh-huh.
woman in this industry, which is very non typical, it's a
Right.
very male dominated industry.
Mhm.
I take that to heart because about 80% of the people that call my office are women. And I also noticed when I first got into this industry how much they were getting kind of won over by people that would come and pretend to have knowledge in this and just kind of pump out of a sewer line clean out or not properly pump out the septic tank.
Mhm.
And then, they were continuously having issues with things. So I take great pride in educating our customers on what they have, what their maintenance program needs to look like, and making sure that they feel comfortable with the people that are coming out. We only hire A players here to work because I know a lot of the time that's where they're going is they're going to this woman's house that is waiting for them to come and help her. And so it's kind of become like a service mission for me to make sure that women that need these kinds of services
Mhm.
have an ally behind them and that they're being taken care of properly.
Wow, that's really got to be interesting being a woman in a male-dominant industry.
Yeah.
And it was surprising that you said that most of the people that are calling you are women.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
fascinating. Even a lot of times we'll hear their husbands in the background talking, but they're the
uh,
ones that's on the phone.
wow.
So it is, and we work with a lot of female real estate agents like yourself too, that we definitely want them to know that they're getting a good service,
Mhm.
that they're getting a thorough septic inspection and that they're covering all of their bases that they need to in order to have a successful sale with that septic system.
Fantastic. So along your journey here, starting a couple different companies in this
Mm-hmm.
industry, there had to be some memorable experiences. A particular one stand out that you'd like to share with us?
Oh gosh, there's so many. It's that first time that new rookie comes in and gets sprayed by a hose that goes all crazy. Those are always funny. um, you know what? We have had such interesting things. I think a lot of times people think they use their toilet as like a flush it and forget it. Like, how many
Mhm.
times do people hide things and they flush it down their toilet and then they're
Oh.
like, out of sight, out of mind, nobody sees? But a septic system does not lie because it doesn't go anywhere. So we have walked into some very interesting situations before. We have had dead chickens in the septic tank. That's an old wives' tale that you can increase the bacteria to grow and maintain from like the cleansers that go into that by throwing a dead chicken in there. It's supposed to populate bacteria. Not the right kind of bacteria, by the way. So we've had that situation before. We've had renters that have been in a home serviced by a septic system and they end up getting evicted from the property. So they try to like, you know, really sabotage the
Mm-hmm.
property owner by flushing all kinds of weird random things down septic systems.
Oh my
And it's
goodness.
very fascinating because depending upon how it works, like septic systems have like the solid sink, they've got water, and then like a scum layer of like grease and soaps and things like that. And depending upon how that stuff actually gets flushed in there, it will like build a mat of like everything these people have tried to flush down there to mess up a septic system. Septic systems are pretty resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the worst things that you can do is like overuse your water stuff. A lot of times people will try to flush swimming pools out and they like try to empty it into a septic system. That's not a good thing to do. We've had that situation happen before too. So it's just really like having all of these funny stories gives us education pieces to be
Mm-hmm.
able to educate people when we go out. Having questions about water softeners, having questions about emptying pools, having questions about, well, can I flush flushable wipes? The answer to that is no. It's a big fat no. They do
Uh-huh.
not. They do not break down. Lots of them are made out of plastic, and so they don't break down. So it's really cool to be able to have these funny stories because then we take lots of photos so that we can show them you could do that, but this is what it looks like.
Wow. Boy, I'm getting educated here.
Yeah. Hang around us for a while. You'll know everything about septic systems.
So, what do you find are your biggest challenges in the business?
But the biggest challenge that I think a lot of people, anyone in the trades has right now is that we have more work than we know what to do with because we have obviously so many people that are moving here, building new houses. They're building new commercial buildings that require services.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a really difficult time attracting and keeping good people to come to work for us. Like I said, we have A players that come in here. I'm sure we could probably hire somebody to just fill a position, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not the kind of business that we're running here. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to send somebody that's maybe a little on the scary side out to this lady's house. I take great
Yeah.
pride in that. So really attracting A players to come in and work in the trades industry. I think it's been a fallacy for a lot of years that that's like a second rate. Like if you don't go to college, maybe you've made some bad life choices, then you become
Mm-hmm.
this blue collar industry. The blue collar industry is booming right now. Through COVID, it was the number one industry that was like took off like crazy because
Mm-hmm.
everyone was in their homes and everybody needed more of our services.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't really slowed down since then, to be real honest with you, but the ability to hire people to come work in here has. And I would really love to just stress that it really is a great environment to work in if you're working for the right people. We treat people like they're part of our family when they come in here. I take that very, that's a huge responsibility for me. When
Mm-hmm.
people come to work here, their families come to work here,
Yeah.
because I want them to feel like, they're part of our family. So, really hiring people, I think, is a tough thing. So, if people are kind of on the fence about what they're doing with their jobs, and this is something that they want to look into,
Mm-hmm.
our pump truck drivers make just a little under six figures a year, and that's a pretty awesome wage to be making at 23 years old. And I
Wow.
have someone that does that, so
Uh-huh.
it's a really cool opportunity if you like to work with your hands and you like to put in a good hard day's worth of work.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So, what do you hear back from your clients? What are they saying about your company and you?
Our clients love us, and I can say that with full confidence. We're one of the younger septic companies in the valley, and we have over 100 more online five-star reviews on Google than any of our other competitors.
Mm-hmm.
We take that to heart. We really want to perform. We want people to be previous customers to be our greatest form of advertising because that positivity, them taking the time to be able to give us a review, is something that lives evergreen for us to be able to market our business and to stand out. At least once or twice a day, we get phone calls from people that say, I checked your online reviews, you were referred to me, but I checked your reviews and man, I really liked what I had to read there. A lot of that is about the personality, about how much time the guys take with them out there to educate them on their systems, how easy it is to book appointments with our company, how friendly everybody is, how knowledgeable everyone is. And we do that by design so that we can continue to get those really great reviews and build a great online reputation where it's kind of I truly have this feeling like if people call me and they're just doing just the price shopping, you really do get what you pay for in this industry. I know that. I've been in it for a long time.
Hmm.
I really do feel sorry for people if they decide to go with someone else because I know what kind of service I can provide for them. And I really desperately want to help people that don't understand their systems versus
Hmm.
them just getting something for $50 less and continuing to have the same problems that they talk about with their system. So I am passionate about changing the way that this wastewater industry looks like. I'm on the board of a couple of different wastewater organizations. One's national and one's here local in Arizona. And I think it's really important that we change what it looks like for this. There's so many people moving in here. The impacts of septic systems on environments when they're not taken care of properly
Hmm.
can really harm a neighborhood and our water table that is here. So I think it's really important that it's something that we continue to keep talking about and that we make better compliance needs for
Hmm.
things with this because there really isn't a whole lot. You know, you permit a system and then that's pretty much all that they care about afterwards. And it's really important that we maintain them so that they last a long time so we're not putting in another one and that we're not polluting the environment for our neighbors and our
Hmm.
neighborhoods.
Well, it's fantastic, learning about your business and, what's behind it, meaning your motivation, as you
Yeah.
were just describing. But tell me, uh, what does Tanya do for relaxation? You can't be working all the time, or maybe you can be, but you have to have some Tanya time.
Sure, sure. So Tanny's time, I have two of my own children that I have full time, and then I have three stepchildren that I have half of the week. So
Uh-huh.
between five kiddos most of
Wow.
the week, my week is busy. I coach my son's soccer team, which I love to do so much. My daughter has her own little business. She's 13 years old, and she has a sugar scrub and just a fragrance business that she has worked really hard to develop. So
Uh-huh.
on the weekends, a lot of times you'll find me at vendor shows selling stuff with her doing that. It's
Following in your footsteps,
Yeah, it's really
huh?
cool. It's a really cool story behind that. So she's a freshman at Campo, so I'm really proud of her for taking that on. She really wants to do good things with that. So make her own money, which
Hmm.
is very admirable for kids these days. But I also have a women's group that I love so much. I have a podcast. It's called Ladies Kicking Ass, and it's all about women that are in the service industry. It's
Oh.
an online membership community where women that are in home service trades and just service business in general
Hmm.
can come to find community, can come to learn how to help get branding help and get marketing help for their service companies.
Hmm.
It's really a community of women that I really need to have in my life. And it's a really cool way with the podcast to be able to tell their stories about how they got into those industries and really their why behind it. A lot of them are working moms too. So, kind of how they juggle all of that stuff together. I think it's really important that we talk about things like
Hmm.
that. So, as working moms, we don't think that we're isolated and alone and feeling like we're losing our minds. There's a lot of us that are trying to do the juggle all together, but I think when women link arms, really cool things happen.
Uh-huh.
And so I love to be able to provide a atmosphere and a place for that to happen. So that is my passion project right now. So
Yeah.
when I'm not doing that, I love to hang out with my husband too. We love to go to find new restaurants and go to concerts and things. So
Hmm.
we stay pretty busy.
Yeah, action-packed life. A passion for your business, a passion for your woman's podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe what we need to do is come back and revisit that in another interview.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you taking
Thank you
time
so
today to
much.
spend with us and help getting us educated on your business and learn a little bit more about you, Tanya.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, hey, folks, if you have questions regarding wastewater, septic, industrial, please reach out to Tanya. Sounds like the place to go for quality information and quality service. This is Bill Adams, Coldwell Banker Realty. Thank you.